How's it going? My name is Daniel. I'll be doing the second affirmative. Before I talk about Alex B's points that he made, I'd first like to talk about Alex S's points that he brought up when refuting our claim of fact. First, he talked about how schools are generally already safe. Yeah, I do agree with Alex. Schools are there, making schools safer and safer. But with the carry of weapons, by staff will actually make it more safer. Yes, he did bring up a lot of good points about the accidents of fire. A teacher shot herself in the bathroom, and then also an actual a trained police like school official, like it was like a truancy officer. His gun also went off. Yes, those are incidents that did happen, but then again, both those incidents didn't involve the safety of the children being affected. And then he also talked about how the teacher's job is only to teach. I do agree with that one as well, but what happens if a gunman comes in or someone on campus? Like, there is a job to teach, but also with a weapon, a concealed weapon, they can also protect themselves. Like, yes, I know they're going to go out of their way and hopefully try to protect their kids, but even then, though, it comes down to them protecting themselves. Sorry. And then also his last point, he said guns will make a difference on campus. So if guns don't make a difference, then why can't we just have them then? Like I said, I know there's some safety issues there, but if he's claiming that there's no pros or cons to it, then we might as well carry it. So Alex B's points, like I said, he's stated earlier. His first point states that talk about the states that already allow it. Second one is the policy that we have is going to be successful. The third one is actually does deter crime or criminal activity from campuses. And then also the fourth is, we'd rather better be safe than sorry. So first I'd like to talk about just some stats. According to Slate.com, there have been a total of 137 fatal shootings that killed 297 victims since 1980. Elementary schools saw the fewest shootings, 17, while high schools saw the most, 62. Each decade we see has more and more shooting deaths than the previous one. Like I said, with this, it just gives you the facts. Like, yes, there are going to be, the grand scheme of things of people dying. This is actually a small number, but then again, you look at the impact it's had. Sandy Hook, Columbine, even the VT shooting. Like I said, it really does. It does more of a toll than a physical toll. It does a physical toll as well as a mental toll on our kids and people attending school. Like I said, Alex B also brought up, like I said, talking about the states. California, Florida, Georgia, New York, Michigan, Ohio, Texas. These states actually have a ban on concealed weapons, and when looking at their stats, they actually do have more shootings occur in these states because of the ban. I would also like to talk about a writer who wrote a book called Every Teacher in America Should Have a Gun. He said, in a perfect world, we wouldn't need to take such measures. But until that happens, critical thinking suggests that we exercise our Second Amendment rights, arm our teachers and school officials to ensure the safety of our children, voice our support, and keep a close eye on anti-gun crusaders who want to make decisions for us. A school should be a safe haven where children can grow and learn. And right now, arming teachers is the only practical solution. There was a shooting, a small shooting that everyone kind of doesn't remember in Colorado. It wasn't Columbine, but it actually happened by a young man named James Pearson. He went into a school because he was actually upset with his debate coach as well as another teacher. He went inside actually looking to kill them, and he was armed with a rifle and a Molotov cocktail, which is just pretty much like a homemade, like firebomb. And then also with this, there was a lawmaker by the name of Ted Harvey, who was on the Colorado State Senate, whose son actually went to that school, and he got quoted saying, "I don't want my wife and kids to be sitting ducks," Harvey told Fox News. He said his own son was on the debate team with Pearson, who took his own life as two staff members, including a school resource officer, James Engelhardt, who actually was armed, and Rob Mahler, who was an unarmed school security guard. who was a retired deputy, closed on him. Pearson's 82nd attack started after he asked to see the school's librarian and debate coach, whom he was very angry with. He did not find the coach, instead ended up shooting Claire Davis, which is a student that he didn't even know, and she died later in the hospital that week. The county sheriff officer Gregson Robertson said that the sight of an armed official likely prevented further casualties and was a critical element to the shooter's decision to commit suicide. And that goes me into my third point, where I talk, guns will actually deter criminal activity. John Rayo, who is a chemistry teacher at San Ladrano High School, said, even if there are no teachers or security or anyone on campus who even has a gun, it's a psychological deterrent. So shooters will find, their whole goal is to do as much damage as possible. So they're obviously going to target places like schools who don't have, who they know that there can't be weapons on campus and whatnot. So yeah, that to wrap it up, better be safe than sorry. It's kind of sad that we actually have armed guards that guard banks, that guard other valuables like car lots and whatnot, and we can't even guard our kids. Because like I said, when these people who have mental issues and have problems, who want to inflict this type of damage, they look at places like schools as a place to go. Like I said, do as much damage, and that, like I said, that sad that sounds, and that's in killing people.